So Mario 3D All-Stars is announced to release in just over a week and a half, and I am personally super excited. These are games I grew up with, and I get my Mario Sunshine finally in an HD form. Now people are still on the fence about this, however, because they're not sure if this is actually a remaster at all, rather it feels just like direct ports. But I've proven time and time again that these are actually enhanced games compared to their original forms. But still, I think people expected a little bit more, at least from 64, and they just wanted to kind of see these games get the same treatment, say, that Crash Bandicoot and Spyro did in their trilogies. So I guess the question of today is, should have Nintendo went the remake way and kind of remade all these games from the ground up, and exactly in what way would that have looked like? Well, today I am here to tell you, but before we get into that, please feel free to subscribe. We're getting ever so close to 100,000 subscribers. Make sure you also like the video if you enjoy what you see today, and comment down below your opinions on today's topic. But without further ado, let's get into the matter at hand regarding Mario 3D All-Stars. Now, I think what hurt us the most were the rumors that kept telling us that we might get something very big with these Mario games, such as from the ground up remakes, and 64 was one of those games that many people had their eyes on. It's a very old game. It came out for the Nintendo 64, and I guess many people, me myself included, thought that it would be completely remade from the ground up, or at least have a different art style, a different look, something different, or maybe even have the DS content, and it didn't have any of it. In fact, it was just Mario 64 with a little bit more polished, polygons. I mean, really, that's about it. And that was pretty much the only one that kind of disappointed me in the whole pack, because I expected the others to be generally around the same way it is. But 64 definitely, I thought, should have gotten some type of, polish or maybe even remake of itself. Now, I think the problem with this is it would have to be its own game. It would have to be remade from the ground up in its own individual Mario 64 HD game, because that's probably a very big game to remake, and Nintendo's going to definitely charge that game $60 alone. But I know lots of people are going to make the argument, well, Crash did it with 3 games, and Spyro also did it with 3 games. Why can't Nintendo do it as well? Well, that just comes down to the case because it's Nintendo. They're not going to do that. With a big open world Mario game, they're going to find a way to exploit you and your money, but that's just Nintendo. But I did still think that they should have went some type of route. Maybe, I know lots of people were thinking potentially the Odyssey engine for all these games, or at least for 64. And as that would have been nice, Nintendo would have definitely charged a whole full price tag for that one game individually. So I don't ever think it was in Nintendo's intent to sell a completely remade Mario 64 and an enhanced Sunshine and Galaxy into one pack. And I just think that was the only reason we didn't get that. Is there still a potential chance in the future for a 64 HD? Well, yeah, of course, a 64 remake could definitely well still happen in the future, a long time from now, but it will still be probably a long time from now. Probably in the next consoles. I mean, really though, if we have any 64 complaint, it's this. Bye-bye. Now, in the case of Super Mario Sunshine, I don't think it really needed a remake. I know some people may have wanted to see this in the Odyssey engine, but I know it's my favorite game. I'm trying to keep away from bias here, but I think it looks a lot better than the other games did in its, transformation over to the Switch. I think this looks amazing. It gets rid of all the sloppy textures that we see in the game, clears up the water some, the cutscenes are even cleared up, the colors are vibrant again, and just everything looks really good. The blur is gone from the heat that they try to add, and it just, everything looks amazing within this game. And I thought, for a game that didn't get a full remake, it definitely got a graphical enhancement that makes the game look a lot more appealing. Now, I guess it really does come down to the controls. Does it still control as sloppy as it did before? Because that was a problem. And is the camera still a little bit sticky when you're trying to get it in specific places with Mario? We don't know. So that is something to look out for, and if the overall gameplay hasn't changed, for instance, giving us a blue coin counter or something, we don't know any of that information yet, so we're just gonna have to find that out for ourselves. So hopefully some of that changed so we can have, some better gameplay experiences, because otherwise maybe we did need a remake. And Mario Galaxy is always a hard one to put my finger on because it always looked good, and I just think it looks just even better now. There's not much else you can do with this game, because the graphics are really good. I mean, this game looks very clean just looking at the trailer already, and if they did change much, it was only a little bit just to make it into HD. But I don't think all the time and effort going into a remake would have done anything different from the game. I think overall, it looks really good, and out of all the games, it obviously looks the cleanest because it just came out on the Wii. So I think with that said, Mario Galaxy is perfectly fine. Is a remake necessary? Not at all. I think this is perfectly fine. I think out of all these games, really, 64 is still the only one that I do think about from time to time. And I think it all comes down to the fact that how many times we've seen these games, because I'm glad they kept the classic look to 64, but we've played it and seen it in so many ways, and so many virtual consoles, on just so many different platforms. It's just happened all the time. We've seen that game already. It's just like, it's time to see it in a new look. And as far as Sunshine and Galaxy goes, we've only seen them each one time, you know, one on the GameCube being Sunshine, that was really never repeated again, and we never got the game re-released, and Galaxy on the Wii, which initially just got a Galaxy 2, and we've never really heard from Galaxy again. So that is a good reason to kind of revisit those and just see the original graphics kind of barely enhanced. But 64 is just still the one that kind of shocks me how it didn't get any treatment. Or at least could have seen a classic version of 64 and a remade version of 64 added to the game as well. Yes, it's a lot of content, but Nintendo could have done it. You know, and the fact that this game was delayed, but they said 6 months, it really does blow my mind that nothing was really changed with the games overall. Now, this video wasn't to bum you out on the remasters, because personally I cannot wait, and you should be very excited to be able to play these 3 classic Mario games over again, because I know there's a lot of people I've seen out there that have not gotten their hands on some of these games yet, and I cannot wait to see your guys' reactions as you play through them. And one of my favorites, Super Mario Sunshine, which is often overlooked. So get excited, because this is an exciting time for Nintendo. It's looking like they're finally picking back up where they left off, and they're finally getting games and information out to the public, and things are starting to look up for the company. 3D All-Stars comes out in just a week and a half, and I already have my copy pre-ordered. But let me know in the comments down below what you guys think of this. Do you think we should have got any of these games remade? Do you think 64 should have got a better treatment than it did? Let me know in the comments down below. Are you completely just satisfied with this pack and can't wait to get your hands on it? Thank you guys so much for tuning in, and like always, I'll see you in the next one. See you guys.